All right, I have Nathaniel Grimard back on the show now, who picked up another big win, this time over Andrew Provost at NEF 47. Nathaniel, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you again. I know we talked a little bit before the fight. I saw you before the event started, and I told you how good you looked in your last fight. And the thing that really stood out to me is ever since that fight with Billy Wilson, where he controlled you with his wrestling, you have looked like the wrestler. You went in and did it again. Your last two fights, dominant wrestling chops. Was that a real focus of yours at Nostos in camp to really improve that aspect of your game?
Not really. I mean, I definitely improved just over time, but it's more of kind of like a mentality. I get to be the aggressive one. Billy kind of dictated that pace, when we fought. So ever since then, it's going to be at my pace. I got to dictate where the fight goes and when it goes down. And we weren't even planning to strike with this, or I'm sorry, grapple with this kid. The plan was to strike, so it kind of just worked out.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. Was the game plan to get in there and wrestle? The game plan was to strike. Was that frustrating for you? Because I'm sure you wanted to showcase your stand-up skills.
Yeah, I mean, we went into the fight expecting to showcase the stand-up skills. Out back, we didn't even drill like wrestling takedowns. Devin talked to me right before, and he was like, "Yeah, if you want to dictate your wrestling, feel free to go for it." But once we got him down, it's definitely a frustrating fight. He couldn't really open up much, but we still walked away with the win.
What was it about Andrew's, style or what he was doing in there that prevented you from striking?
Yeah, he kind of just held me down like that lockdown position. He had my leg snake, so I couldn't really get my leg out. He had double overhooks a lot. He was just kind of holding on. I didn't take any damage either, but it was frustrating just because I couldn't advance to a position to kind of open up and finish the fight.
I was just going to say too, one of the things I was saying, I would have to imagine from your point of view would be, you want to get in there, you want to finish the fight. Was that frustrating not to be able to get him out of there, and the fact that it did go the distance? Or do you feel like, getting in there, getting that cage time, logging those minutes was equally as important to you as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, the cage time definitely is important, especially at this level, getting that experience in there. But I really wanted to let my hands go this fight. And it was just a frustrating performance on my end. I was a little bit disappointed on how the fight went. But at the end of the day, after talking to Devin and everybody, it's like, yeah, you got the win. You're 2-0 as a pro now. We're just going to improve on the next one now.
Yeah, how good does that feel? 2-0 as a pro.
Feels good, man. I mean, off to a perfect start, so it's going to keep it rolling.
Did you think about, taking any other amateur fights after the loss to Billy Wilson, or did you just feel like, what, I'm ready to turn pro. The pro game kind of suits my skill set more, and I'm just going to dive in?
We definitely wanted to take more amateur fights, but Matt just kind of presented a good opportunity. And obviously everybody's goal at the end of the day is to go pro. And I was getting good work in the gym, so we just kind of took the risk to go for it, and it's worked out so far.
What was your take on the venue, the fans, just NEF 47 as a whole?
I mean, it was pretty cool, man. It was too bad the lights weren't working well, that they didn't have the spotlight on the cage, but all the fans were into it. It was pretty packed. So yeah, I was happy how the Matt turned that around.
Did you sell a lot of tickets? How many people were there to support you?
I sold about 50 tickets, but obviously more people would come and go or kind of just buy their own online. So yeah, I had a good crew there.
All right. And Nostos went 3-0 on the night. Let's talk about Ross Dinar. My goodness, Muhammad Al-Kanani gets his first loss as a pro. And, and I talked to him recently, and I said to him, look, I feel like most people thought, Muhammad's just going to come in there and outstrike him and maybe finish him. I mean, that's what he's done in the past. But Ross, you've trained with him, and that kid has some serious heart. Did you guys feel like we're going to go in here, we're going to surprise everybody, Ross is going to get this win?
Yeah, I've known Ross for a while. In my high school team, I was a freshman. He was my senior captain. He actually got me into Nostos, so I've known him for a while. And we would be surprised if Ross didn't win that fight, to be honest. He's such a tough guy. He kind of just head down grinds. We knew he was going to go in there and put the pressure on Mo, and nothing against Mo, but it was awesome to see Ross break that kid.
Yeah. So the game plan was to maybe take Mo into deep waters. Is that what you guys felt like was best suited to help him get the win?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too informed about his game plan, but I figured Mo was going to come out hard that first round. Was going to be the big one, kind of how set the whole pace of the fight. But after that first round, you could see Mo kind of fading, and Ross is just going to pick up pace even further, even if it's longer rounds, it doesn't matter to him. So, yeah, he took the fight down real quick. He looked good on his feet. I was surprised at how much he wanted to stand with Mo, but he just showed he's well-rounded everywhere.
What does he like to train with?
He's tough to train with, especially with a fight camp where he's just head down and wants to grind. He's a dog. He doesn't care about what's the next move or anything. He just will compete in the moment, and that's what makes him so good.
Yeah, what an exciting fight that was. You must have been there watching it, right? I mean, I didn't know if you had any stuff to tend to backstage or whatever, but were you there cage side cheering him on?
Yeah, I was right behind Devin and everybody, right behind the barricade. There's no way I would miss that fight for us.
Yeah. And David Burke kicked off the night, a huge win over David McCarty. And David McCarty is just a very impressive physical specimen. He looks like he's an NFL linebacker. So to go in there and put him out, I mean, I thought that was massively impressive by David Burke. Tell me a little bit more about him and, his trajectory as a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, he really hasn't been training for too long. And that's kind of what the surprising part is, how fast he's progressing and how good he is. He came in there and blasted right through McCarty. He's looking for a quick turnaround too. So he's only going to make huge improvements into the next fight.
Did you get to see the Ryan Sanders fight and the main event, Jesse Erickson, Matt Denning?
Yeah, like quick 15 seconds of it.
Yeah. What was your takeaway on what Ryan Sanders did to Mark Gardner? I don't know that I've seen a knockout like that and regionally for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan was kind of done fighting before I even started, so I don't know too much about him, but I know he was good. Yeah, he looked great in there. I mean, he's definitely a bad dude.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I wanted to ask you about another one of your teammates, Kyle Pufall, has a Cage Titans title shot right around the corner. Tell me a little bit more about him. I know he's undefeated and all of his fights have been finishes. Do you train much with him as a training partner? I got to imagine you do.
Yeah, I train a good amount with him, especially like on sparring days and stuff. Always good rounds. I think he's about to surprise a lot of people in a couple of weeks on how good he really is. And he's going to make a huge impact on the MMA scene this year. I think he'll collect as many belts as he wants to. Mo's done. If it'd be interesting to see how he would do against Mo, because Kyle's striking is that high level where he's going to give a lot of people problems.
All right. And so what's the day-to-day life for you like now? I mean, look where you're at. You got a gorgeous backdrop. I'm not sure if you're at home or somewhere else right now, but life is good for you, Nathaniel. What is that training work-life balance like? What are you doing day to day?
Yeah, I work a desk job for an insurance company. Kind of just work until about 4:00, then head over to the gym, and then just kind of grind at the gym until about 8:30, 8 o'clock every night. Then we're just back to it, the same stuff, that it's just a different day. It's just part of it. I'm super hungry now. As active as I've been, it's crazy. I'm just kind of used to it now. If I'm not at the gym after work, it's like I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this weekend I'm just out with my girlfriends. I'm going to Connecticut tonight to kind of just hang out after the fight. But after this, then we're back in camp.
Very good. How do you feel with your overall progression as a fighter? Do you like where you're at right now? Are you pleased with just your collective skill set?
Yeah, I'm just definitely always room for improvement and just keep learning. I think that's why I was so frustrated with how the fight went, because I couldn't show off about what I've done and where I've gotten better in some parts of my game. But I mean, it'll come. I'm gonna have those opportunities, so let's go from here.
So you feel like your striking skill set, your stand-ups skills have really evolved a lot. You're telling me that maybe in your next fight or the one after that, like the fans here around the area are going to see a massive improvement from your stand-up.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a grappler, but it's just I haven't showed my hands yet. That's what's frustrating on my end. Like, nobody's going to respect my striking until I give them a reason to. So it's definitely going to come. I'm going to have my opportunity to do that. Next fight, I'm definitely going to be standing with a guy. It's just this fight, the guy wanted to clinch and he wanted to get into grappling exchanges, and we were able to show how good of a grappler I've become.
Yeah. And again, man, congrats on the win. That was very, very impressive. 2 wins in a row where you just look dominant in there, moving 2-0 as a professional now. Now, NEF 48 is in July, the end of July at Thompson's Point down in Southern Maine. Beautiful venue. It's going to be outside and hot. Can we expect to see you on that card?
Yeah, I'll be on that card. We already have something lined up for that. So I'm excited for that one, and just keep taking tough fights. I haven't some of these guys, when they start their pro career, they're going to fight guys that are like 1-10, or it's just mismatches where Boston was an even matchup and it was a risk. Same with this guy. He was 1-0. It was a great matchup. And the next guy's going to have some more experience on me too. So just kind of silence those doubters a little bit and just keep winning.
How active do you want to stay in 2022? And is there another promotion that you would fight for if they gave you the right matchup? Or are you going to try and stay loyal to NEF here moving forward?
Yeah, I want to stay as active as I can. I'm just kind of chasing that dream right now, and we're healthy. So there's no reason not to keep improving, just stay in the gym. Matt's always been good to me. We have a good relationship, so I like working with him. But so a promotion did give me a good opportunity to fight for them. It's tough to pass that up.
I have to imagine, I mean, obviously the ultimate goal would be to make it where your head coach, Devin Powell, was the UFC. What has he told you about your trajectory and, how many fights away that he might think that you are from there? Like, do you have to get to 7, 8, 9 pro fights before you're going to be ready? I mean, what does he say and what do you think?
Yeah, we're definitely like talking about like the future because it's going to keep you motivated. You see a lot of these guys in the contender series, they're like 5, 6, 7-0. And that's really not, I mean, if everything goes perfect, stuff happens, but that's not too far off from where I'm headed. So it's definitely something we're excited for the next couple of years coming.
And is that cut to 45? Is that still pretty easy for you? Is that going to be the weight class moving forward regardless?
Yeah, it's not terrible. I've always made weight pretty easily, but I don't think 35, that's definitely 10 more pounds to cut. And with my frame, I'm not kind of like a short, stocky 35er. I'm pretty lean and tall. So I'd stay around that 45 weight. If anything, we just gain more weight to be able to fill that weight class.
Awesome, man. Well, always great talking to you. Congrats on another big win. Nathaniel Grimard, UD victory over Andrew Provost, the NEF 47. Before I do let you go, I want to kick it back to you, give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. I would like thank all my coaches, Devin, Carolyn, Nick Miles, Kyla Hill, Pufal, Aaron Lacey's been a huge help, even though he's out right now. All my sponsors made a huge impact for me for this fight camp. And then you can follow me on Instagram, so it's Nathaniel Grimard, and so is my Facebook.